Hello, I'm Jonathan and welcome to the Tamworth FC Social, a podcast all about Tamworth Football Club. Well, the goal drought is finally over for the Lambs and they now only need 6 wins to secure the title. We discussed a 3-1 win at home to Blyth Spartans and look ahead to Tamworth's next 2 matches. Don't forget you can follow us on social media at TFC Social Pod. You can click subscribe below this video and switch notifications on to be updated when we upload new episodes. To the Blyth victory then, and a special mention to Brett's pet Budgie, who makes another appearance on the pod. You might be able to hear them in the background shortly. Graham starts us off though by giving his thoughts.
Brilliant 3-1 win. Exactly what we needed after the last couple of games, and I think just the whole approach tactically for this game was exactly what we needed to. And I think we've been too cautious in some games more recently, and I don't know why. And we've kind of gone away from the way we were playing a bit earlier on in the season, and we have been relying too much on the set pieces and the throw-ins. And it was interesting that Tom Tonks was actually on the bench for this game, so we went and approached this completely differently. We had 2 strikers up top. And it just shows that you know we can play, and we scored some excellent goals, to be honest. So yeah, long may that continue. But yeah, absolutely excellent result. Great to see the strikers actually scoring. Feels a while since that's happened. Chris Ray's goal, the 3rd goal, was absolute top drawer. It's good to have him back, to be honest. He's definitely got a different quality that, perhaps we didn't have in the strikers, and it's good. Yeah, it's good to have him, and it works well with him and Creaney together, which is good. And it's good to see Creaney on the score sheet again. It's been a little bit of a while for him since he scored. It was a good header. So yeah, really, really pleasing. To me, I think the difference in that game was Ben Milnes coming back in. He was absolutely everywhere. The energy that he gives in the midfield is absolutely crucial for us. I said it in the last episode or the one before that I felt like he was the missing link, and that energy is what we were kind of lacking, I feel like, in the last couple of games. So yeah, I'm pleased that he was back, and he made a big difference to that team. I think you just need somebody to link up that sort of defence to midfield to attack, and he's the guy that kind of does that. He's the closest we've got to a sort of to Jamie Jellis, really. When those two were both playing together, it was just bombing about everywhere, really. So yeah, really pleased that he's back, and it's good to see Sunday have a good game as well. So he got 2 assists, which is brilliant. I think I saw him against Chorley and he looks quite off the pace. I thought at times, it made me think, well, is he going to struggle? Is the Northern League a little bit more physical than the Conference South? But he did seem to work himself into that game. It was a tough pitch, cold Tuesday night and everything, and against Blyth, he looked more of the complete package. I suppose it takes time to settle in to a new club and finding out the different ways of how tactically we play and everything. So looks like he's settled in now. And yeah, he had a good game. So long may that continue. We've got enough threats throughout that team and on the bench to cause teams problems all the time. So yeah, I think it's about being expressive, and obviously we came out of the blocks absolutely flying on Saturday, and I think we, take advantage of Blyth having a long trip and all that, and they've had some pretty sort of poor run recently, so we knew we could just kind of take advantage of that and go with it. But we need that same momentum for the rest of the season, really. Yeah, in terms of the title, I don't want to say it's wrapped up, but we are in a very, very, very strong position now, especially after that result on Tuesday, shall I say, the Scunthorpe. It does put us in a very strong position, and mentally we should be feeling very positive about this. Next few games could look even better for us. And as I say, we just got to keep doing our own thing, I think, and not worry about the other teams though. But obviously, from a fan's point of view, we can do that and get excited, and still dare to dream, really, that we're gonna finish this season off as champions of the National League North.
Looking back at the Blyth game, really good result. Just what the doctor orders. Would have been nice to have kept another clean sheet, but we scored 3 goals, and Chris Ray's second was an absolute dream goal as well. So, 3 goals from the front 2. It's exactly what we needed going into this run of games as well. Interesting game against Scarborough on the weekend. There could go either way. I think their form's a bit sketchy of late, but obviously it wasn't that long ago that they were up there competing with Scunthorpe, for the sort of the second and third place. So that could be an interesting game for us. But if we take away that performance from Saturday and take that into Scarborough's game, then we should, we should have a great game again. Sundari as well, obviously it looks like he's finally coming into his own a little bit now. Hopefully we can start thinking about next season and start thinking about how we're going to be building a team that's going to try and be competitive next year in the National, because obviously that's going to be a very difficult league for us to be competing in. It looks like Scunthorpe have got into complete meltdown now after Tuesday's result. You look at some of the results that they've been putting in, and I probably wouldn't even say that result, was a surprise. Surely that's been coming for a while. They had that huge home crowd on the weekend against Chester, and still managed to have to come from behind late on in the game to salvage anything. So I think it's safe to say now that Scunthorpe's title challenge is dead and buried. As we said a few weeks ago, really, Chorley are the main contenders now, but that really probably should alter our mindset now going into the remainder of the games. I'm not saying that we should be going into it with any kind of complacency, but it does mean now, we've got a huge lead still, 12 points clear. We've only really got to win 6 more games to absolutely guarantee it. The pressure is on everybody else, as it has been for a while. We obviously started getting a little bit frustrated during the period in between Alfreton away and Kersnashan at home. But look, there's other results as well that have got to go your way, and I think that one on Tuesday absolutely did. For Chorley now to be the Leeds leading goal scorers, it shows the great running that they're getting, and that will be the momentum that they'll need to get into the playoffs. Because as you can see, if you go through the social media for Scunthorpe, they're all now concerned that they're not even going to be competitive in the playoffs. And I happen to know a Scunthorpe fan, and he's very much of that belief as well. So good luck to them if they manage to end up finishing in a playoff position, because they have imploded. They are doing a Burton in second place.
What a result that was on Tuesday night. For Darlington against Scunthorpe. In some way, couldn't see it coming, terms of the result, Scunthorpe had a credible draw on Saturday against Chester, and from what I understand, they played pretty well. But yeah, I mean 4-0. Yeah, it's not good at all. And listening to some of their fans after that result, and listening to the manager, I've said it before a few times. I think there's such a huge amount of pressure on Scunthorpe, and in the big moments across this season so far, they've never really lived up to their expectations of being the team to beat, really. And their form since Christmas has been dreadful. I think the fourth bottom, based on the last 10 games. So yeah, I mean they've just fallen away, really. And to me, Chorley are the informed side. They're absolutely flying. They've got a game in hand over Scunthorpe now. They're a point behind. They are our closest challengers, I would say now. I'm not completely disregarding Scunthorpe because I don't think you can, but just based on the facts and the data in front of us, Chorley, I've probably got a better chance of catching us than Scunthorpe now. In saying that, Scunthorpe are playing Bishop Stortford on Saturday. I suppose there's no better way for them to come out and surprise, well, not surprise, but have a bit of a reaction from that result that they've had this week. But they'll probably win that game. But I think their season is heading towards the playoffs, whatever happens, as far as I'm concerned.
Some transfer news regarding Tamworth. They've signed Beck-Ray Anoru from Barwell. He'll go into the squad for Saturday's trip to Scarborough. We'll discuss that signing in more detail next time. As you can probably tell, we've not recorded this episode together as a trio. Graham kicks off our preview of Tamworth's next 2 matches.
Scarborough this weekend, really looking forward to this. I'll be off to this game, bit of football, and a couple of days at the seaside. You can't really beat it. So really looking forward to it. Be interested to see their setup now. I remember seeing their ground many years ago, when it was the McCain Stadium, is it? I can't remember. But yeah, definitely looking forward to going there. It's a decent sized club. I remember us playing them in the FA Cup away and beating them 1-0 long time ago, when Scarborough in the conference and Tamworth were in what we are now. But it was, I think it was probably the Dr. Martins League then, or Southern League. So yeah, it will be a good game. They've got a good fan base and everything. I think in terms of how they're doing, it's been a bit indifferent for them, really. They've been in and out of the playoff picture, and they've still got sort of an outside playoff chance at the moment. But they are on a bit of a bad run at the moment. But they have had some good results this season. From what I understand, they don't think Scunthorpe are beating them when they played them. So yeah, they don't like Scunthorpe. I think that their fans actually want us to win the league from some of the things that I've seen. Obviously, they won't want us to win on Saturday, but they seem to have picked up points against Scunthorpe. So they're one of those teams that seem to have very indifferent results. But we've beaten them before. We've got a very, very good away record in this league, or the best away record. So yeah, I think we can go there and give them a good game with how we set they seem to let a lot of goals in as well. So there's lots of opportunity there. We just come out of the blocks again quickly. Yeah, it should be a good game.
I think looking ahead to Scarborough and then Gloucester coming up. So obviously, Chorley and Scunthorpe both had midweek games this week. We didn't. So again, the rest will do us good. We've had another week between games, and after Gloucester on Tuesday, there are no more Tuesday night games. So we've got the 2 games in between Easter on Good Friday and Bank Holiday Monday. But aside from those now, it is Saturday to Saturday. So we've got some nice long rest breaks in between games now, and that will only benefit us. I mean, obviously everyone else pretty much has as well, but at least it will mean that our injured players can carry on resting, and if there's any players out there that are tired and they've got a bit of a break. So the performances really should just keep coming now. I don't want to start getting ahead too much, but obviously I think over that Easter period, either the Good Friday or the Bank Holiday looks like that could be the title winning one of the title winning games for us. So it would be lovely to do it against Kings Lynn on the TV, but I think that might come a bit too soon. Yeah, Scarborough, obviously, well, it's not the Scarborough of old, the old ex-league club from the McCain Stadium, but they're a good fan-run club. I enjoyed them giving Scunthorpe a bit of stick a couple of weeks ago. I think, again, on the back of a good result. They've had spluttering form recently, so I'm pretty confident we could probably go in there and get a win. I've got no real reasons to why I think that we probably couldn't. So, I think we should just go there and play how we have been against Blyth. And then just looking ahead to Gloucester, obviously second bottom in the league. They are fighting for their life. They're also not in great form, but obviously they did beat Scarborough, so it's kind of a tale of two halves there. Scarborough obviously poor form, lost to Gloucester. Gloucester poor form, beat Scarborough. So, obviously it's a banana skin because they need to win to be staying up. I mean, Gloucester have struggled in this league for years, really. I mean, obviously they're in the wrong catchment area, really, similar to Bishop Stortford, but obviously nowhere near as southern as Bishop Stortford. So, I mean, I think they've always really probably paid the price for being in the National League North as opposed to the South like they have been before. But, all they can do is, play against who they can play against, really. Obviously, it's nothing to do with them, their geographical location, so it's down to the players that they can get in and whatever else. So, but I'm pretty sure that, again, we should pretty much go there and we should beat them comfortably. But like with every game, we've got to make sure that we remain focused.
With Gloucester, I feel like this is going to be a tougher game than the Scarborough game in a number of ways. They're absolutely fighting for their lives down at the bottom, and it's a Tuesday night as well. I think this is going to be really tough. When we had the reverse fixture at the Lamb earlier on in the season, I didn't think they were that bad. We grinded out a 1-0 win, but they're down there for a reason. But can't give them too much respect either. I just think that is going to be quite a tough one though on a Tuesday night. But it's a must win for us, and it is a must win for them, really. They arguably need the points more than us. So I think that's going to be a real battle, more than Scarborough. Tough place to go on a Tuesday. So hopefully, we can get 3 points. I do think with Gloucester, there's goals to be had there. They've conceded a lot of goals, which you would expect with a team at the bottom. And they haven't scored a great deal of goals. Not the lowest in the division, actually. But still, we should go there confidently that if we're coming out of the blocks fast, we should score at least one goal and get a victory. So yeah, I think it's a more than winnable game. Interesting that Gloucester beat Scarborough in their last game. Don't know what to really make of that, other than the fact that Scarborough High do seem to be so indifferent with their results. With beating some of the better teams in the league and then losing games like this. I think just going back to Gloucester, they took on a new manager, Mike Cook, in September, and he was a guy that was obviously in charge when we played them in October, and they just started to kind of turn a corner, it looked like, a little bit then. But it hasn't quite happened for them. But he did keep them up last time they were in the Conference South. He stopped them from being relegated, so they obviously brought him back in with the kind of same notion that he would keep them in the league. But they're 8 points off safety at the moment. Darlington have obviously had some really good results recently. Banbury are fallen into it, but they're having wins and losses a little bit. But they're getting different results. But kind of having a win or two here and there to keep their head above water, and I guess that's the same with Rushall as well. So like I say, they're going to be fighting for the points.
It's predictions time, and a reminder, in our mini league you get 1 point for a correct result and 3 points for getting the scoreline exactly right. Last time both Brett and Graham thought Tamworth would beat Blyth. Graham said 4-0. Brett was just 1 goal off with his 3-0 prediction. However, that means it's a point apiece. Graham moves up to 18 points. Brett is just 2 behind. But what about Scarborough and Gloucester?
I think we're going to win both of these next 2 games. I think it's really important as well that we do beat Scarborough on Saturday, just to keep the heat on those below us. I actually think that if we can build a run of wins up, then it will take us into the Chester game with some great confidence, because I think that's probably the hardest game that we've got left now. Obviously our home form is amazing, only losing once at home, but Chester obviously are decent side. But I think for Scarborough, I'm going to go 1-0. And Gloucester, I think, they're going to be no match for us, really. I think they're going to give it a go and they're going to try hard and they're going to knock on the door, but I don't ultimately think they're going to be able to offer anything really that's going to cause us any problems. So I think we're going to win 3-0 against Gloucester.
I feel like I've been doing really well with these predictions recently. I did say Blyth Spartans on Saturday. I did say Tamworth 4, Blyth Spartans 0. I know it wasn't quite 4-0, but there was 4 goals, and we did score 3 goals, which is the first time that's happened in a good long while. So I'm hoping that my good omen continues this week. So first prediction for Scarborough against Tamworth. So I am going to say Scarborough 1, Tamworth 2. I think it will be a tight game. They've had tight games against the bigger teams, so I think it will be a tight game. If we carry on with the same momentum as what we did at Blyth Spartans, we will score. But also I think they might score. So I'm going to go 2-1. In terms of the Gloucester game, Tuesday night, I do think we will win. Based on the fact that, again, I think they will struggle to keep us out. So I'm going to go with a Gloucester 0, Tamworth 2. Let's hope I'm right. I've been more than happy with those results, and I've been more than happy with 2-1-0s, to be perfectly honest. But I'm just looking at the data and the facts, and to me, that's what my hunch would go with on both of those. The Gloucester game, they seem to they struggle from both home and away, and they struggle. Their home form is pretty dreadful, and you'd think that the home form might be a little bit better, but they're like 19th in the league table over home form, and they do concede quite a lot of goals. Not the worst, but they do concede quite a lot of goals, so I expect us to score, and we should keep them out.
That's all for this episode of the Tamworth FC Social podcast. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on social media at TFC Social Pod. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button below this video and turning on video notifications. Until next time, goodbye.